So up until this semester, I had a roll sheet that I passed around and students would sign it. And then I also had students write their name on flashcards. And what I would do is they would sign the roll sheet and I would check the roll sheet, who's here, who's not here. I'd shuffle through these flashcards and I'd put to the side the students who were absent so I didn't call on them unnecessarily. And then I'd just shuffle the flashcards. And so my whole system worked that way. And I've decided to go, I'm pretty much paperless with everything. I've printed 2 sheets so far this semester, 2 sheets of paper. And I got to thinking with the roll thing and calling on students, the flashcards thing, why do this manually when a computer can do it for me? So right here, why don't I explain what I've done? Right here, I've got a fake list of what's not the students in my 102 class. Obviously, I'm not going to put their real names on there. I just put a list of common names. And let's pretend that I just have 10 students in my 102, which it's much bigger than that. But we have an example here of 10 students of their last name and then first name. And this, let's reopen that. I put it in alphabetical order, so we got to reopen that. That makes more sense because my real list is in alphabetical order. So first off, I always remember to take roll because by taking roll, it allows me to do my system of calling on students. So if I kind of forget to take roll, I'm like, oh, I'm about to start calling on students. I need to take roll. So it helps kind of remind me to do that. So I'm going to take roll and I'll just do the command. I'll run a script called Asistencia 102. Asistencia 102. So Mary, if the student is there, I'll just hit enter. So enter. Most students are going to be there. Oh, John's absent. Oh, Vicky's absent. Brian, Dan, well, he's absent. We got a lot of absent students today, so we're going to hit A, and that says that they're absent. So Rick is in attendance. So then after running the script, a file is created. I need to minimize myself. A file is created that is the current date. So today is September 27th. And this file has whether the student, if it's a P, that means they're present. If there's an A next to their name, that means they're absent. So that is how I take roll. And it's faster than opening up a text file and putting a P or an A. Well, I'd have to create it. And so the script automates a lot of things that are, you want to take roll as fast as possible because you don't want to waste, you want to minimize how much class time is lost on that sort of thing. So here's the script of what I use to take roll. Asistencia 102. And so when I take roll, I'll clear out my deck, my card deck, which is what I'll use. This is the file I use to call on students. And I've got the path to the file. And basically this goes through the class list, which is right here. It cycles through it. And then it writes out to this file today.txt, which is the current date, 09-27. And it either puts a P or an A. And then after it opens the attendance file, that current day's attendance file. Now, let's go to tarjetas, which means cards, flashcards. So how does this one work? Why don't we use it and then I can talk about this. So right now I have, this is supposed to be showing, it's showing the context of my card deck, the file called deck.txt. It's showing, it's updating every 200 milliseconds with the context of that file, with the contents of that file. And there's nothing in it currently because I just took roll. Now, I have a keyboard shortcut, F9, my F9 key. I'll hit that in class, and that runs this script, tarjetas, which calls on students. So let's see. There we go. Note that, okay, the way this works is it only takes, and this normally isn't showing, this is the only thing showing, the pop-up notification. So you'll notice of the total students present, there's there's 6 students. So there are 6 students, so 5, 6 students. And if we go back to our current day's roll sheet, you'll see that there are 6 students present. Well, what happened there? We got 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm just miscounting. 4, 5, 6. 6 students present. So this is my deck. And so we got 5, 6. And so my script, when I call on a student, only pulls the students who are in attendance. And so, okay, Seth answered the question. On to the next one. Janet's up. On to the next one. Brian's up. Mary, she's called on. Will, Rick, and then finally Dave. Now it's empty. So note that not only did it only pull the students who are currently present, it randomized them when it called on them. So let's say I'm in the middle of calling on some students and Dan arrives. Well, in class, I'll have this file open. So Dan arrived. We'll mark him as present. And note here, when I start calling on students again, this time Dan will be in the deck. So Dan will be called. So we'll see Dan here among the list. So there's Dan at the top. And so my script, my tarjeta script, it not only calls them randomly, but calls each student equally. And as students arrive, then they're added to that current day's attendance and therefore going to be added to the deck on the next round through after all the other students have been called on. And I wouldn't really want them added if they just arrive and they don't know what's going on. I wouldn't want them added to the current deck anyway. So you'll see this is out of alphabetical order, and we just call on the students. And as we call on students, the deck gets lower until it's empty. And then my script, the next time I run the script, it'll know, oh, the deck is empty. It's time to fill it up again. Let's actually say that a lot are absent. So we only have 3 students in attendance. That's horrible. So now the next time we run it, it'll just have 3 students. Just our 3 students in attendance. So we got Janet and then the other 2. So hopefully this can be an inspiration for something that you do. Or for taking roll in your class, maybe it can be helpful.